By far the most common question I get about the Lightning or any EV truck is, what kind of effect does towing have on range? There's an easy answer and then there's a real answer. The easy answer, you should bet on a reduction of about 50% of your range when towing the average trailer. But the actual answer, the truthful answer is, I can't really give you an answer because it depends so much on what you're towing. Do you have a 9,500 pound flatbed like this trailer right here? Are you towing an Airstream? Are you towing a horse trailer? Are you towing a box trailer? The profile of the trailer, the tires, the number of axles, etc., as well as the weight, all will impact your range. If you're already driving and towing with an F-150, then you should be able to answer your own question if you're considering a Lightning. Because if you regularly tow a trailer like this, and it affects your fuel economy in your F-150 by about 50%, then you can apply that same sort of reduction directly to a Lightning. You'll see approximately the same sort of fuel efficiency decrease and the same sort of range decrease as in a gasoline vehicle. But again, profile of trailer is important because this trailer is 9,500 pounds as loaded right here. This Airstream, apparently according to its sticker, is only about 4,500 pounds, but you'll actually see a greater range loss in this kind of climate and this kind of terrain. It's pretty flat out here with the Airstream trailer rather than this 9,500 pound trailer because it's much less aerodynamic. Where you tow is also going to have an impact. Do you regularly tow out on the open highway? Are you just restricting your towing to country lanes, etc.? Aerodynamics like this big trailer mean that if you're out on the open highway and you're going 75 or 80 miles an hour with your trailer, as some people do out here in Texas, you're going to see a pretty considerable drop in range versus taking that same trailer out on a journey on your favorite winding mountain road or winding country road where the aerodynamics are going to play less of a role. To help solve this problem, Ford has a unique software solution. In the infotainment system, over on features, we can take a look at the towing screen and then we add a trailer. This is pretty similar to what we find in a regular F-150. I'll just go ahead and put in a regular name there. Continue to set up there. You'll see it wants to know what kind of brakes we have. So default is electric, that's fine. It'll ask you the trailer brake effort, low is fine. Then it's going to ask you some key questions like length of the trailer. We'll go ahead with 25 feet. It wants to know the width of the trailer, and then it wants to know the trailer height. This is going to give it an idea of the sectional profile of the trailer and generally some aerodynamics. It also wants to know the gross vehicle weight of the trailer. We'll go ahead and put that, say, down here around 6,500 pounds. It'll then give you a brief overview of what you've entered in there. We hit the confirm button, and then when you start towing with the trailer, it's going to give you a more accurate idea of the range. When you set up a new trailer on your F-150 Lightning, it's first going to download some approximate data from Ford that they've crowdsourced on what kind of fuel economy you should expect. Then as you drive the trailer along, it's going to be collecting additional data and then refining that range estimate in the instrument cluster. The Lightning is then going to use those range estimates in conjunction with the factory navigation system to guide you to DC fast charge stations as long as you have a route entered. Let's see that range adjustment in operation. At the moment, you can see the vehicle thinks it has 232 miles of range. All we have to do is go to the infotainment system, select the active trailer. So for this particular one, it's the wine trailer. It's 9,500 pounds. It will say it may take a few miles of towing to actually get the most accurate measurement. The moment that trailer is selected over here on the instrument cluster, you'll notice that that range has immediately dropped. It's let you know that it's adjusted the range based on the trailer's driving characteristics. And you'll see that for this particular trailer, it does result in a reduction of about 50%. One of the interesting things I noticed is that due to the sectional profile and general aerodynamic profile of all of the trailers that we were able to test out here in San Antonio, range ends up being fairly similar across the bunch. The least efficient is actually that boat right over there due to the aerodynamics of the boat, even though it's lighter than the 9,500 pound trailer. And the Airstream on that side, it's about the same as that 9,500 pound trailer as well. The first thing you'll notice about towing with an EV is how smooth the experience is. This has one gear. It's a single speed reduction gear up front, single speed in the back as well. And of course, the next thing you're going to notice is how much low end torque you get thanks to the electric motors as well. 775 pound-feet of torque, basically from 0 RPM. And you will certainly notice that if you romp on the throttle a little too aggressively. Even at 30 to 35 miles an hour, if I floor it, there is wheel slip, and the traction control has to step in to help keep things from going wrong. The result is one of the best performing tow vehicles. If I floor it, this feels incredibly peppy, even with 9,500 pounds on the back. And for the record, that means one Hummer in the back. I'm the kind of person that tows with regularity. I tow generally between 6,000 and 9,000 pounds, and I also live in a mountainous region. So engine braking is incredibly important to me because it really saves your brakes on those long downhill runs. If that's the kind of person that you are, you will probably feel more at home in the F-150 Lightning than some of the small displacement turbos we find in regular gasoline-powered half-ton trucks, because this has the ability to regenerate a lot of power into the battery. It's also going to improve your fuel economy, of course. Now, one interesting twist is that regen braking does appear to be dulled down a little bit if I engage the tow haul mode over here, and tow haul mode is going to disable the one-pedal drive mode. Thankfully, Ford does not disable any of the trailer range calculations or the integrated trailer brake controller or anything like that if you put it in normal mode and have a trailer on the back rather than having it in tow haul mode. The likely reason that one pedal is disabled when you're in tow haul mode is to improve trailer stability, because when this vehicle is regen braking in the one pedal drive mode, it does not engage the trailer brakes. And for improved trailer stability, depending on the condition you're in, you want the trailer to do at least some braking. Thanks to the massive amount of torque and the healthy horsepower, getting up to highway speeds is definitely no problem, nor is passing with this kind of trailer weight in the rear. That is the other surprising thing. Going from 50 miles an hour to 65 or 70 miles an hour, depending on what's legal in your jurisdiction, is absolutely no problem, even if you have that kind of weight on the back. To be honest, I only have two concerns when towing with the F-150. Obviously, range is going to be a consideration. With this kind of trailer on the back, maybe about 150 miles of range is what you should logically expect. That is going to make DC fast charging much more frequent on longer journeys, and things are pretty far apart in California, so I could definitely not take one of my tractors in for service, because that's about a 250-mile one-way journey in order to take it to the nearest service place. That could be a bit of a problem. My other concern is turning radius. This turns just about as tight as a regular F-150, which is to say, not quite as tight as some mid-size SUVs. On the other hand, I really love the fact that 4x four-wheel drive and the locking rear diff are standard, because if you regularly tow on gravel roads or dirt roads like I do, then that's a really big asset. It makes the vehicle feel much more stable when towing heavy loads. So if you're worried about range, two things to keep in mind. You should probably guesstimate around a 50% reduction in range, just like you would see in a gasoline vehicle towing any of these kinds of trailers. And if you want to get really specific, then you can use a trailer you already have to estimate what you might expect in a Lightning. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of what you should expect if you're looking for a Lightning or any other electric pickup truck out there, and how that will affect your range. It is worth noting that at the moment, Ford is the only manufacturer that has this kind of trailer integration available. We don't find it in the GMC Hummer. It doesn't look like we're going to find it in the new Silverado EV, and we do not have this kind of tech in the Rivian. In those vehicles, you kind of have to do your own guesstimation, and when you have a trailer connected, it is going to affect your range calculation history. And that's kind of the interesting twist with what Ford is doing here. When you have the trailer connected, it doesn't calculate the data for your regular range figure. So when the trailer's connected, it's calculating for trailer connected range. When you disconnect the trailer, it's then going to go back to the regular range calculations that it's been assuming after the last, 1,000 miles or so that you've been driving. If you haven't already done so, be sure and check out my full review of the F-150 Lightning. You'll find that on the channel as well. Hit the subscribe button, all that other good stuff, and I'll see all of you later.